Early one morning at the ashram, I was out for a walk by the lake, and it was very foggy. You couldn't see very far in front of you, and suddenly there was the figure in the fog that looked like a person walking toward me, and then he emerged from the mist, looking at me, smiling. And as he was walking toward me, I could see and feel that he was walking toward me to tell me something. He wasn't walking by me and would say hello as he went by. You could see and feel that he was walking toward me to tell me something. As he approached with a big smile on his face, just emanating such joy and ease and ancientness would be a way to try to describe it. He looked at me and said, "Have you ever heard of the missing years?" I said, "No, I have never heard of that. What is that?" He said, "In the book called the Bible, they honor a being who they call Jesus. And the stories of Jesus end at age 12, and there are no more stories of Jesus until he's at the age of 30. So there are 18 years where there are no accounts of where he was. They're referred to as the missing years." I said, "Oh, wow. I've never heard about this. I didn't grow up in any Christian tradition." He said, "Where I'm from, in India, there is a temple, which I have gone to my whole life, and on the wall, when you walk into the temple, are photographs and paintings of all of the gurus and saints that goes back thousands of years in the history of this temple. One of the images on the wall in the temple where I'm from is of a saint who's honored in our lineage as Saint Isha. This is the being that the Bible refers to as Jesus. And where he was in this temple in India for many of those 18 years. It is said that he traveled from his homeland on the Silk Road and went into Nepal and Tibet, explored with the teachers of those lineages, and found out that the roots of Buddhism were in India. The Buddha, whose name was Siddhartha Gautama, was from India. He was Indian. So this being that they call Jesus, who, by the way, wasn't actually called Jesus in those times. His name given to him was Yeshua. So Yeshua then traveled from Tibet into India and arrived at the temple that I'm from. Very young. And for many, many, many years, of those 18 missing years, he lived and studied with the guru of the temple I'm from. They took him in, made sure he had a place to sleep, food, looked after him, invited him into all of the practices, which he was a very devout student of all of the practices. The chanting, the meditation, the ancient texts. It is said that he was a very committed and disciplined student. And he did seva for the temple to give back for all that he was receiving from the community there. After many, many, many years, there was a day where the Guru let everyone know that Yeshua was now stabilized in his true essence and was given the name Saint Isha. And he would now be a teacher. And that he was going to be traveling back to his homeland and sharing the truth with the people of his land of origin. And so there is an image on the wall honoring Saint Isha in our temple in India. He traveled on the Silk Road and went back to his homeland, sharing the hard-earned wisdom of his spiritual journey with the people there. Hundreds of years later, an emperor of Rome named Constantine gathered together many bishops, and they created and codified what eventually became Christianity. It was a gathering of men, and so it became very patriarchal. And these men were more focused on control and power than the heart essence of the original teachings of Yeshua. As the years unfolded, it became an organization run by men, and throughout the ages, it has continued to have great influence and power in the history of Earth. He then said to me, "This will be information that at some point it will be good for you to let people know about this so that they can understand that the original teachings of Saint Isha, Yeshua, known as Jesus, became obscured like fog. And that if we return to the heart, the love that we are, it will be like a sunrise." He said, as you've noticed, when the sun rises, it warms up the air, and the water droplets that create fog evaporate, and they return to water vapor that's invisible and allows for a clear view of the horizon. He smiled, turned around, and started walking back into the mist from which he had emerged. And my mind was blown, my heart was open, my whole body was vibrating with such sweet, tender, simple, natural, loving presence. And next thing I know, he just was no longer visible. And as I stood there with my heart wide open, tears of gratitude came down my cheeks for this visit from this man, from this temple in India where he shared this story with me. And I just stood there with an open heart and great gratitude. And little by little, the sun started to rise and it got warmer. And exactly as he said, those water droplets that create what we call fog were warmed by the sun, and they returned to their natural state of vapor, and I could see all of the landscape very clearly. And in this moment, as I'm recounting this lived experience, I'm aware of how it relates to the current times that we're in. Today is March 13th, Friday. Oh, it's Friday the 13th, 2026. And once again, it's as if we have a fog layer of control, the need for dominance, interest in power over consciousness, control over the heart of being. This is just when a group of people are more in their wanter rather than their true nature, it can be like a fog layer where we can't see clearly. If we return to the heart of being, the love, the kindness, the compassion that we are, it will be like the sun, and it will warm up the atmosphere, and that fog will lift due to the combined warmth of the love and the compassion that we are, that we let be shared into the world. We can warm up the atmosphere of obscuration and fear and control and the misunderstandings of the wanter, and allow the warmth of the love we are to naturally release the fog layer. Oh, yes.